So I find this very interesting, but then again, not really. Take a little peek at this. 1 month chart, Dow Jones. Just look at the way this looks. Okay, S&P 500, same 1 month. You would not know what you're looking at aside from the fact that the amount dollar-wise is different. 2,656, 24,600 obviously on the Dow. But as far as the movement, let's look at the 3-month just out of curiosity. Very, 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 very similar. Is that interesting? And then we go over to the crypto markets. I want to take you down this little chestnut of a lane. This is OMG. And I want you to think about that for a second. OMG. It's not Bitcoin. It's not Litecoin. You know, it's not the S&P. It's not the Dow Jones of crypto. It's OMG. So there's OMG. Look basically at the chart itself. Right over here. Just pay attention to what this looks like. Now this goes back to... That would have been December. That would have been the big old December run up, I believe. All right. We got about a month. We're more like 2 months. We're looking at here. That's February. Oh, wait a minute. I'm lying to you. I'm lying. This is a few days. Never mind. I forgot which chart I had on. Anyways, just look at it. Just look at it. All right, here we are. OMG. Watch Litecoin. Ready? Pretty similar. OMG. Litecoin. Let's go take a look at ETH, since these are similar. Wow. Isn't that amazing? ETH. Litecoin. ETH. Litecoin. How about Bitcoin? Bitcoin. Litecoin. Bitcoin. Litecoin. That just means, if you want my opinion, which, you know, quick look surprised. The big money, you might even argue even manipulation, you know, whatever, they're in here. Clear as day. You have these markets moving in tandem because everybody who's in Litecoin isn't necessarily in OMG. Everybody who's in Bitcoin is not necessarily in ETH, Litecoin, OMG. And since I'm here staring at this, let's take a look at EOS. Just curious. What do you know? EOS, OMG, Litecoin, EOS. These are extremely similar. I mean, almost spitting images. What else we got? Got some Civic. Nope. You get on a Civic, whole different story. This is what I would expect normally, somewhere else, or looking at some of these other coins. But I just find it amazing that there's. What about Populous? Populous to Bitcoin. Nope. Then again, we had some major FUD with Populous. Bad choice here, JSnip. Vertasium. Interesting. Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin. A bit different. Now, this is definitely a bit different. Which, again, we've got two competing Bitcoin, so to speak. Bitcoin here, Bitcoin Core versus Bitcoin Cash, and they're not even, they're not even close. Now, I will say you got this little peak here. They're both doing that. This one comes down, Bitcoin Core. This one comes down, but again, these are not similar. I mean, this is not similar. If you look at this, yeah, they're both rising slightly here, whatever. But I just find that suspiciously interesting, and not that it changes my mind against anything. I am still 100% cryptos. And I was watching this. I was trying to see exactly, are we at 9K or not? 9,100. We need to see 9K, 9,100, roughly. And it came down just a hair now, 8,800. And I had this page up for a little while now. Before we can, in my opinion anyways, see a nice little breakout. Again, psychological level, 9K, 9,100. It's creeping. I mean, we got extremely close. Or I actually touched it right here, but it can't just hit it and bounce off. It's got to, it's got to be safely above it, bounce on it a couple times and stay above it. So So, I mean, we're close. Look, 89, 85 right here. I mean, this is how close we got just a little while ago. 89, 85. I mean, this is what time is this? 1837 UCT. About 2 hours ago, you could say. So, no, I mean, again, nothing to write home about, as I say sometimes. But I'm just thinking, Cliff High, man. He said that it's that third week. He said, look, the first week of February, on the 11th, not the first week, pardon me, on the 11th of February, that's when the set started filling with the whole 13,800 level, 880 technically, 13,880 price point for Bitcoin. This is months and months and months and months and months and months ago, by the way, that particular data set. And he said by the third week, on the third week, and that entire week itself is when that language really, really fills, like all week long. All week long, all week. No, it's all night long. So, is the webbot about to pull a magic rabbit out of its hat? So we have the 11th here. Okay. Got the last week right around in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So basically, we're getting close, right in here. So we'll call it the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, somewhere around there. Will be that final, part of February. Now, are we talking basically where, technically speaking, the 4th through the 10th was week 1? Are we talking right now? We're basically in week 2, and then the 18th to the 24th. Again, I can't say her answer specifically what the webbot thought or saw. It bottom line, roughly third week, and the entire week, he said, is when the big chunk of data is filled that should be filled according to his report. So the 11th, hey, we got a little glimpse. I mean, like think of this: you're far away, you see a light that you didn't see a light before. All of a sudden, you're squinting your eye. Is that something down there? Is there something there? There's nothing there. There's nothing on the screen. And then all of a sudden, hey, yeah, that's a light. Yep, okay. For sure, that's a light. Okay. And it's actually coming at us. We can tell that much. Yep, okay, good deal. That's the 11th of February. Then we get towards the latter part of February, third week, and the entire week. Okay, that's not a light. That's a cluster of lights. But from far away, it looked like one single light. Now a bunch of lights are coming. They're bright as hell. Next day, oh my God, they're even closer, even brighter. Next day. Okay, there's a freaking stadium, lights on us. So, maybe not that powerful, but I'm just trying to give you a little analogy of a little piece of the data fills in over here in the 11th. Of course, that data set or whatever looks like this will be that date. We'll start to kind of hear about it, see it, maybe start to see, yeah, maybe it's going to start moving now. All of a sudden, third week. Okay, pay attention. Hello, what's happening? Like, it should be one of those. If the webbot's timing, it is an if. It is an if. If the webbot's timing is deadly accurate, and you know me, I'm rooting for it. I'd like it to come out here and get Cliff on immediately. Cliff, I know you're busy. I know this. But you got to come on. What are the chances that your webbot, however many, I'm trying to think, how long ago was it that he first gave that number? I'm trying to think, was it even in 2017? It might have even first been given in 2016. You know what I'm going to do right now real quick? I'm going to pause this video so you don't have to wait. And I'm going to go scour some webbot reports to see if I can figure out when the first time that number was given. Because sometimes he'll say something like in an interview or on Twitter or something, and it's not necessarily in the report, but he'll say it. But I think this is in there. So just give me a second. Because I'm curious myself, like, actually, wait a minute. How long ago was it? I'm starting to think, was it actually in 2016 that he gave that number out first? Or were we already officially in 2017? I think we might have been in 17. We're about to find out, I think. Stand by. And since I'm looking, I just stumbled across this. This is not what I'm looking for. I'm searching for the number 13. 13,000, whatever. So I'm just going in each report. Started in December of 2016. But this is when the webbot actual, bare naked well stuff started in 2017. I think it probably was in 2017. But I found this old gem. January 2017 report. In fall Northern Hemisphere of 2016, we correctly predicted that Bitcoin would pause in the vicinity of 888 USD in its upward climb to 1130 USD. Further, we also correctly predicted that Bitcoin would return to 888 after reaching over 1100, where it would, as described in the data, dither for a while. Once done with this dither, Bitcoin was forecast to again trudging past 1130 to reach new all-time highs, which it did do, FYI. And down here, remember this, the first pattern, like he says, in a very similar pattern to the 408 to 428 forecast, which was also correctly predicted. He also correctly predicted the 888 Chinese currency yuan against the US dollar, which it was in the thousands. Let me see something real quick. If I can type yuan to USD. Okay, so I'm gonna do. It was Chinese, so 8888 would have been 1404. Remember, his number was 1424 or 1460. Remember that? That was that number. Now, I don't know if you saw this, but there's 80808 was also in there. Okay. 80808 equals 12,000, and this is today. I know there's a little fluctuation in the price of the yen, Chinese yuan, excuse me, not the yen, the yuan. $12,767.66. That's pretty damn close to that $13,000 mark. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is this where we're talking about? Again, to be expected development as Bitcoin moves further into the Chinese population, which all of 2017, not all of it, a lot of it. Boy, did it move into the Chinese population. So I'm going to pause it again and see if I can't find this 13,000. I'm trying to think, is that where was the Chinese yuan to US dollar conversion back in January of 2016 or 2017? Does that now equal $13,800, or did it then? Maybe that's where this just came from, and I actually just found it. I'm about to find out. Stand by. I'm putting on pause again. All right, so I'm finding some more goodies, some more golden nuggets, if you will, as I'm searching through this. So here's one. And by the way, there's stuff in here. I just passed it. Silver, gold, going up, going up. It should happen in 2017. Didn't happen. Cliff, he said, look, I admit the silver and gold side, just the timing is just for whatever reason, robot, it's never happened yet. It's still in the data. It's still showing up. So I'm reporting it. And sure enough, we're now in 2018. We did not see $1,900 gold or $100 something silver or whatever. Not yet. I do say yet because I do believe that day is still coming. It's just that it hasn't happened yet. It's still in the data. But check this out. In spite of the global population acting as price support for Bitcoin during swings, and I'm in the same report, January 2017, number of coming on the way to $2,300, the data has pullbacks that will occur. There are two of note that are forming in the data now. The first is a large, nearly $500 drop, followed by a more dither, although now described as about half as long as with the 888 dither, on the way back up to over 1088. So the 500-point drop is described in the data as a fluctuation. As of this report, the data provides that the 500 USD drop in price will be brief and sudden, but will also thereafter define the percent rate of drop for Bitcoin for its consolidations, while it is still less than 48084 yuan per coin. So keep that number. We're going to check that in a second. This $500 drop in price is indicated to be starting from very near to 2,300. It got to, I think, 26, 27, somewhere around there. I don't remember. I'm just going off the top of my head. Somewhere around 26 or 700. Then it actually happened. Like a noticeable drop happened. Maybe it was 2,500. Again, I'm trying to go off my memory. And I don't know, but I know it was close. And I know it happened because I talked about it. So since there's this 48,084 yuan per coin price, 48,084 equals 48,084, $8,000. We went through that, right? So again, this is to show you that this has happened. What this Webbot report has talked about it's already, again, this is from January 2017. But I want to find the 13,880 if that's specifically written in here. So I'll keep looking. Hang on. And I found something else I need to tell you about. Not even related to this, but in the Webbot report, same one, page 9. This was a forecast, and this particular part was talking about 2017. Or maybe it was the same year. It actually doesn't say. So maybe this is January. Yeah, this is probably was meant to be January 2017, which is when the report was done, through February 2017 in this particular section. Tell me if this sounds like it got it off by a year, and we're talking this year, 2018, January to February, especially right now because it says to the 12th of February. Anyone hear about Israel in the news recently and downing a jet and fighting and attack on? As model space has moved through the end of January into about the 12th of February, the immediacy data sets grow in support of a fight around the global view of Israel. And when do we have John Kerry over in Palestine roughing things up right now, recently? These data sets have this being a full-on battle between the propaganda prostitutes and the new media. With these sets are the numerous subsets in support of the idea of a coordinated Israeli-led effort within global markets. Although it's talking about algorithmic trading battles and emergent price moves for Bitcoin that will be slightly divergent from, but in the same upward direction as gold and silver, which again, still not happening with gold and silver, but I thought that was interesting. I just wanted to share that. Let me get back to work here. All right, hi, me again. Another piece that's not related that I still want to share with you because it kind of is related. Same page, page 10. Gold, silver, and especially Bitcoin are all indicated to get very large notional boosts in prices over spring and summer. Again, once again, talks about gold and silver not moving. But he's already admitted, look, the date and time is just not even kind of accurate. So let's just make that clear. Over spring and summer, Northern Hemisphere, as the debt-based currencies take very large drops in relative purchasing power due to hyperinflation from truly massive quantitative easing. It is this large and growing set for hyperinflation that has such details supporting it as 125,000 Dow Jones. These sets are likely not referencing an actual daily close for the Dow at that level, so much as they are describing the language coming out of hyperinflation that will lead to general headlines predicting 125,000 Dows coming, So we did do a massive rally last year, and according to Lindsay Williams, if you thought that was high, wait till you see this year and next year, right? That's what he said. Funny, Webbot's telling you, there at least people will be using those words on TV, even if we're not there yet. At this rate of spending and this and that, Dow Jones is going to be 120, All it is language. Doesn't matter how it gets there. That's what the Webbot's picking up on. So let me continue. I want to find the 13,880, so stand by. All right, might have found me a little something. This actually was not in one of the Bare Naked Wealth reports. This looks like it was just in the April 2017 regular Alta report, page 26. Page 26, called Two Tribes. Forecast for April. Yep, it's the Alta report. Back to 26. Check this out. Let me scroll up. Let me start a little higher up. The Bitcoin sets have new price movement. Again, April 2017, page 26. The Bitcoin sets have new price movement independent of the hard fork issues that are prevalent throughout the discussions currently. The data has explicit references for the price of Bitcoin to be hopping ahead even in the midst of rising emotional tone within the Bitcoin technical community. These new sets have crosslinks to the global pop entity where terminating sets are within descriptors for trading communities. These terminating sets are forecasting that whole trading communities will be adopting Bitcoin. These sets are also heavily dominated by Asia within the geographic references. Tell me that didn't come true, especially with China. While there are sets supporting the language for the hard fork, the data type involved is dominated by shorter term values with very few longer term words. The data as of this point in processing for the April report has no real impact forecast from the hard fork issue. It either does not take place in the next 4 to 6 months or its impact is negligible within the larger emotional tone for Bitcoin over the next few years. And as you know, Bitcoin, the Bitcoin Cash, all that crap did happen. The price of Bitcoin really was not affected, right? As model spaces progressed forward through April, there are noticeable bulges of Bitcoin supporting sets that are also concurrent with very large bulges in currencies crisis data. While there are cross links between the sets, there are not casual temporal markers visible. That noted, we do have some language for yet another spring burst of Bitcoin enthusiasm that is showing up as upward pressures on the dollar price of Bitcoin, and he writes it as BTC this time. The longer term sets in this supporting chain continue to bring in prices that will be 13,000 US dollars in 2018. While at that time, the noted price of gold within model space would be near $4,500. Again, he apologizes greatly, believe me. It's in the data, he reports it. And you know what's funny? I bet if that stuff wasn't manipulated, it would be exactly where his reports are saying it was, like right now. You know, just wherever it thought it was, like today. So, again, for this point of this, it's in there. I'm just reading it to you. Don't worry about the timing. I still strongly believe gold's going to pop, silver will at some point. And it's okay. I don't mind waiting, especially now that we got freaking cryptos doing a million times better than gold and silver could ever do, really, you know? And now I get to keep all my silver, haven't touched any of it, and I've got cryptos that I'm going to use to pay off my freaking house, which is what I wanted to use my silver for to start with. Hoping it would do that big pop. You know, I think it's going to. Not yet. But 13,000 US dollar price in 2018. First time it was mentioned, April 2017. This is page 26. There are more sets for speculation in the crypto space as altcoins will also be surging. Also in there. However, please note that we have crash language for the altcoin space that is indicated to wipe out quite a few speculators as well as altcoins. These sets have approximate cause to be a scandal within the faked mining of the altcoin involved, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to still search through. I want to see where else this 13,000 was mentioned. So I'll pause it so you don't have to wait. And like a detective, old Snippy done found it. Actually, not really. Anybody who can press Control F and find in a PDF and look for the number 13 could have found it too. May Bitcoin report. May 2017 BTC report. Not the Alta. This is a BTC one. In Bitcoin specific sets, we have a jump occurring. The jump is what we call here a fractal upleveling. By this is meant that the fractal pattern thus far exhibited will persist just as the next level up. This just may be indicating that Bitcoin prices in US dollar terms, which is our metric, he says, will be reaching the end of the current fractal pattern level, with the rise up towards the old high price for gold. Again, forget the gold thing. And that this next level up, will be immediately following the retrace from our forecast $500 drop. If so, then the projection of the data for a $2,300 USD price to form during the early days of the hyperinflation language would seem on track for a previously forecast $13,000 USD price in early 2018. A more steady, less of the end of the world as we know it period of price discovery would have a price closer to the 5,000 range for early 2018. So hang on. We had a massive sell-off, $5,800, $6,000 early 2018. Epic proportions from $20,000. And here we are pushing $9,000 again, still early 2018, by the way. And it's supposed to be the third week in February. Now that word February 2018, I've not found that yet. Because remember in the early data, he just said 2018, and we do interviews and stuff. He'd say, yeah, the early part of 2018 is showing that it should show up. At some point, it became February. February 2018, this is what it shows. And I'm going to try to find that. And I'm sure I will here shortly. But as I'm finding this, I want to read it to you. So once again, hang on. I'll be right back. All right, so just to be clear, I found something here on the last paragraph part of it on page 8 against the May Bitcoin report. The longer term sets still are providing a number of over $13,000 for Bitcoin in early 2018, with that price showing up in our model space late in the month of February. So there it is. Same report, I just found it. With that price showing up in our model space late in the month of February. As model space is pushed to its extreme limits, the longer term sets still maintain upward price pressure on Bitcoin through to 2020, the year 2020. And just to give you an idea on some other things it talked about, right next paragraph, Dash coin. I'm going to go look at the price of Dash in May right now. Let's go to coin market cap. I think I can share my screen if you want to see it. Why not? Dash coin. Oops, Dash. Back in May. That's 15, 16, 17. Over here, February, March, April, May. Here we go. We're starting to get into May now. $97. Okay. 97, 100, 122. Now we're in June though. So call it $100. 97 to $100. So we're going to just say $100. Okay. Okay. Dash coin is showing up in the data sets as establishing a pattern over 2017. The Dash coin is going to produce a coin related to its name as it dashes ahead in price, but will get frequently winded and slow to a near stop. Again, the growth in the interest in price and network for Dash is also being described as episodic. These episodic sets are also cross-linked over to the debt space, where we note that the Federal Reserve is showing as behaving in a sporadic manner. Thus, we may find some linkage between spurts of Federal Reserve note creation and the growth of crypto space in general. This would be another way of noting that a rising tide lifts all boats. The Dash coin, noting the above, is still indicated to be a rival for speculative price actions relative to Ethereum over the rest of 2017 and into 2018. However, note this is to be speculations within the data and not, as is the case with ETH, a value placement. The idea from the data sets is that there's a certain level of vapor produced by trading frenzy within Dash coin that does not exist within ETH. Blah, blah, blah. So let's look at how high Dash actually got. And that was also in the December pump. Dash, here it is. Dash chart, $1,500. I want you to take a wild guess where ETH has gone. Just take a wild guess how high it's gone. Same time period. January. Oh, did I go too far? Go back. Oops, ETH. Try that again. Right through here. 13, nearly $1,400 right there. 1428. 1428. Dash, 1,500, right? I mean, come on. Webbot report, May 2017. However, again, still indicated to be a rival for speculative price actions against ETH. And now where's it at? Speaking of rivalry, right back and forth. ETH is currently at 873, whatever, let's just look right here, 851. Dash, 612. ETH got it by $200, a little more, whatever. Talk about a rivalry, up and down. This one's ahead, now that one's ahead. This is from May 2017. Now you know why old Snippy likes this damn Webbot so much. It's just, how the hell could this freaking know this kind of stuff? Don't know. Don't know, except for what Cliff tells us. He thinks it's the, people psychically, speaking, so to speak, on the internet. It picks it up, whatever. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care what the truth, whether that's real, whether it's not, whether it was really something. I don't care. And you know why you shouldn't either? Because every damn price point that this thing's talked about with these cryptos has happened. These little battles, Dash, ETH, has happened. And we've had, for quite a while, data now showing February sometime, it looks like. Latter part of February, as we know now. And again, as I go through this, there's going to be the final one, which I'm going to try to find here in a second, that actually says third week, see if I can find that, which report said it. In that'll be my final thing to say. So stand by. Okay. June report 2017, the Bitcoin report, the crypto report from June 2017. The shorter term sets have Bitcoin already established by the end of June as the leading edge of hyperinflation. This status is indicated to continue at least into June of 2018, if not beyond. Yes, there will be other crypto space offerings, both coins and tokens, that will surpass Bitcoin occasionally, but in general, the long-term growth patterns will remain with Bitcoin. So it does say in the June of 2018, if not beyond. Yes, there will be other crypto space offerings, both coins and tokens, that will surpass Bitcoin. Surpass it in what way? It doesn't say price, or maybe talking about the growth patterns. This is Bitcoin occasionally, but in general, the long-term growth patterns will remain with Bitcoin. In those longer terms, the hyperbolic debt currency's debasement is indicated to catch fire and ignite in fall, Northern Hemisphere 2017. Winter, spring, summer, and fall, all you have to do is call. How did December end for cryptos? The most explosive thing we've ever seen in 4 or 5 days. Remember that? Here's a report from June. Catch fire and ignite in fall, Northern Hemisphere 2017. And to be raging hot by the winter solstice. This is what leads the interpretation that Bitcoin will be close to, he says, this is what he originally said, close to or exceeding $13,800 US by early February in 2018. Now, granted, we're talking late February, but this was forecast months and months and months and months and months and months ago. As he keep updating up to the reports, maybe the timeline shift a slight little bit. He updates the thing and tells us. Are you going to be, oh, it's stupid? Well, but early means first, second week, and that didn't happen. Actually, it did happen in December. We blew through 13,000 and went to 20. But I'm telling you, what's going to amaze me, and I have a feeling that's going to amaze you too, is that it's still going to 13.8 by the time we get out of February. I still believe that can happen before we get out of this month. So there it is. Stand by. I want to continue on and find some more. Oh, and just because I have to, same report, page 10. The number presented is in Brazilian reals. And to muddy things even further, the number is projected in model space way out, as in March of 2018. And we note, this is ETH, by the way, and we note that there are hints of huge inflationary jumps in the Brazilian real between now and then, plus swings in the US dollar conversion rate between the two. So don't get too excited. It is not based on today's real to the USD price. Not, get that, not, and the number is 14,424 reals to the ETH. So at today's rate of exchange, that is some huge number, but there are linguistic structures within model space that are saying it will be about 12% of Bitcoin's USD price at the same time. So taking a guesstimate, that would place ETH at $1,354 or so. That's exactly where it got nailed in December. Roughly, you know what I mean. And it's saying March. January, February, March. It was just $1,200 or $1,300 in January. So I found that searching and I wanted to share it. Stand by. All right, so here's what's interesting. That report that April, May, is kind of weird. All right, these are all PDFs. So the one I read you was called, first of all, the date stamp on there, the actual file date stamp was May 25th, okay? It was May 25th was the actual timestamp, yet it's labeled here June BTC. But then in June, a report came out on the 13th, 6/13/2017, and the title of that one is June AOBTC, just as an FYI. And I found exactly the number we were looking for. Although this is interesting, this says 13,808. Recently, he kept saying 13,880, like in his December report. And maybe he just wrote that thing, thinking it was 13,808, whatever. It doesn't matter. 13.8 is the number. Yet more all-time highs are going to be manifesting over the rest of summer, Northern Hemisphere. In the Bitcoin space, the data has potential for two swings, not too violent prior to the August 1st maturation date of the BIP 148 proposal. Or was that the 138? That he maybe, whatever. I'm just going to read you what it says. These sets have a potential for severe volatility only existent from price pressures from market actions. Repeated another way for clarity. Whatever price volatility may exist in Bitcoin over these next 6 weeks, from the date of posting this report, the data is only showing market forces moving the price, not technical problems with the blockchain itself. That said, it needs to be noted that all of July, August, September, and October show up as being exchange bogged down months. The data sets would have the exchanges bogged down months as being the reason that Bitcoin is only at 13,808 in early 2018. These sets are suggesting that speed issues will have been resolved by 2018 as Bitcoin will be moving for its crossing where it will be worth more than the Dow Jones stock average. Acquire and hold cryptocurrency wealth store. Well, that was what he labeled this one back then. Let's see if there's anything else. Stand by. Okay. September Crypto Report 2017. Bitcoin, page 16 on this one. Bitcoin is indicated to rise to the level of about $6,800 before the next very large crash in its value. At that point, we may see a 38% correction that could last even a few days in the turn into recovery and then progression back into growth in nominal dollar terms well into 2018. Prior to this very large crash period, the downturns are indicated to be no deeper than about approximately, as there are a few of the downturns, 21%. Our longer term sets continue to show Bitcoin at 13,800 by end of February 2018. These longer term sets are now being joined by shorter term values that are suggesting that Bitcoin will rise up with language around another 100% move just before yet another crash, then up again towards our 6,800 target from the very far edges of the shorter term data. Just looking at something. Anyways, let me continue. I think that's all for that page. Yep. That was September. Let me keep going. Stand by. Found it again. October Crypto Report 2017. And I'm going to be honest with you. As much as I follow this stuff, everything that I read you, it doesn't stick in my head. I don't remember everything. You know what I mean? Only got so much space in the brain, right? But I'm going to tell you now that I'm in October, and I already know the one from December because I'm about to pull that one up next. Are you not shocked yet at how many times 13,008 something has come up in several months now in this damn report, these reports? And then we had the massive run up. When this came out, Bitcoin was not looking like 13,800. In October, you might have read this and be like, yeah, I think it's possible now, as you saw the price where Bitcoin was at that point. But still. Anyways, Bitcoin, page 18. Please note that within the narrative provided, we still have data sets reinforcing very large gains in the prices of cryptocurrencies relative to the US dollar over this same period. While some numbers are appearing, they are temporally beyond our view of Bitcoin in the early months of 2018 and are larger than 13,800, which was the last set showing numeric values that did manifest as per the forecast. Stated another way for clarity, the data set that had the most recent and accurate forecast for Bitcoin price movements included several time/price pairs not yet reached. The pair most distant in the future had 13,800 and late February 2018 joined. Now we have new sets with the view presented that are beyond both 13,800 and February of next year. These new sets are showing that hyperinflation takes hold of the Western Republic economies, including USA, such that Bitcoin, in one or all of its incarnations, meaning Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, whatever, all of them, will be reaching to nearly $20,000 sometime near to the autumnal equinox 2018. Now, let's talk about that. Because he did talk at one point what he meant by that when he says in all or one of its incarnations. And he said, here's what, because there wasn't a whole lot of data on any branch. In this case, back then it really would have been Bitcoin Cash for the most part, but there was a couple. Fork, I say branch, fork. And he's saying it could be Bitcoin. Not enough data for me to make the prediction here, he says. So it could be Bitcoin. It could be the price of Bitcoin plus the price of Bitcoin Cash plus the price of Bitcoin XYZ, whatever. That equal 20K. Or it could just be Bitcoin. We don't know yet. It's not enough data. So he clarified that. I remember him saying that. Funny enough, Bitcoin hit 20K in December by itself without adding the other cryptos. So some of the issues for our forecasts within crypto space include the first doubling of the language for Bitcoin, and now the speculation on yet more forks leading to yet more language all around alternative Bitcoins, even though some are not yet manifest. Oh, that's funny. How many freaking Bitcoin offshoots have we had now? This increase in the language around Bitcoin has now become diverse enough that the 20K per Bitcoin language may well be referring to the combined mass of Bitcoin language and not any specific Bitcoin variant. Stated another way, for the clarity, it can be said that we are unable to determine if it is the combined Bitcoins that will be valued at 20,000 of US dollars, or if it is any single Bitcoin variant. There are some sets that just may be suggesting that it will be the Bitcoin center that reaches these dollar valuations, meaning Bitcoin Core, with individual variants adding on to the total Bitcoin valuations. These sets are in the minority, but still at substantive levels at nearly 5% of the emotional tone weighting, as in weight, how heavy is it weighting for Bitcoin as a general descriptor. And you know where I'm going next. The next report, the final one that we've had so far. And that's the December one, which I already know what this one says, but I'm still going to search for 13. 2019, year 2019. This isn't that part, but I see something I want to read you. Advancement, but with trailing opposition. New power settling into the cryptocurrency world. The data sets have the whole of 2019 growing the early adopter language from January through to the end of December. One effective way of characterizing 2019 is the 13% year. This is the year that the bulk of the early adopters will make their way into cryptocurrencies. It is the 13% year, as the early adopters are roughly 13% of any population size. The onrushing noise that characterized 2018 as the year of get up and go from the very first day, as events crammed into crypto space, bringing in the beginnings of the early adopter phase, is forecast to complete in the last days of 2019. All I can think of, where are these prices going to be in 2019? My goodness. So let's keep looking for 13. There we go. Page 20. I already read this before when everyone was sick to their stomach. Oh my God, should we sell, Joey? This is tough. Believe me, I know it was tough, but you did the right thing by hodling and buying more. The whole 100K thing. All right, so other types of numbers we get are far less reliable, excepting when they come through as words such as 100,000, all spelled out, as opposed to 100,000 numerically. For example, take a look. When numbers come across like this, he pays attention a lot more than when they come across like this, is what he's saying. Okay? Numbers create and dominate the internet, so are diligently scrubbed out of our data sets by our processing. This said, there are a few ways in which numbers may enter the data, and occasionally those have proven prescient, as has been the case in recent cryptocurrencies price predictions. Note, it can work a number of ways, as of this writing, we have passed our expected 13,880 USD to Bitcoin price prediction 2 months ahead of its projected timing. It could be that the timing is off, in which case we tune the lexicon to increase its accuracy and go on. It could be that in spite of racing past this number far ahead of schedule, that the price of Bitcoin will drop back to our 13,880 range during the timing suggested, which is around, it says, before the third week or so in February 2018. And thus, the data was accurate, and our assumptions about how it would be there were wrong. In either case, other numbers in that same set from which the 13,880 number was taken are to be examined for potential accuracy in their values, if not their timing. Other numbers continue to squeak through our processing and are within this set. Noting the ambiguity of timing, we need to look at the potential for prescient forecasting as a conditional statement such as below. Model space has the price, given the few numbers we get through our processing, as heading out of the 13,880s before the middle of February. This implies a range-bound period in which Bitcoin will bounce up and down after its 30% plus correction, which we sure as hell just experienced. The range-bound period will be another opportunity to develop strong hands. Right now, we got flushed down to $6,000. Who bought more? Right, strong hands. If the data accretion patterns are correct, the range-bound condition will continue through January, with mid to late February being the next breakout period that will take the price of Bitcoin into solid 20,000 plus and establishing a new trading range that will be lasting through into May. Then yet another consolidation over the first part of summer, leading into the midsummer Northern Hemisphere flight of wealth into Bitcoin forecast to push it beyond 40,000. Without regard to the above, there are those instances when numbers come through as words, and such linguistics, while rare, have always been present in the past in this work. We have such an instance now of a number associated with Bitcoin being expressed as, spelled out, 100,000. Note that this appears in late 2018. It is characterized by being within whispered awe and shouted elation and choked supporting sets. These expression contexts provide some additional clues, including some sets going to 100K parties and 100K celebrations and 100,000 line parties and other language of a similar nature. These sets are also part of several major groups that are describing a greatly anticipated event crossing the 100K line that will be treated as a global happening, very much like New Year's. Other sets describe the language that will follow the crossing the line day and the many, many references to parties. Some of these language sets include specific to the occasion dances and music, along with other artistic renderings of the moment. There are sets suggesting that large quantities of "Where were you when we crossed the line?" videos and blogs will be created. Also of note is that a correction is noted as Bitcoin is near 64,000. These sets are also forecasting a lot of chatter around the $64,000 question and other puns, humorous setups, and jokes. These accrue to model space ahead of the correction, and many of their authors will be subsequently lambasted, and baited and blamed for the price drop. The 64,000 connections via the linguistics do not tell us on which side of that number we will encounter the correction. The data does promise a correction, albeit brief, that will be physically shocking, producing vomiting and fainting. Yet another Bitcoin move in the 30% plus range, only now in numbers so large as to have jokes about Bitcoin price swings making people puke. So naturally, he's actually saying 64K correction. Well, Do you think the correction is going to be up, honestly? Is that going to make people vomit and puke? No. No. Correction down is going to make you vomit and puke. At least the weak hands or the newbies. You and I should not be. You and I should be preparing for this. Guys, Jason at 4 here. We're nearing 64K. We're at about 60 right now. As we get close to that, another 1,000, 2,000, I'm out. I'm going to scrape off a bunch of profits. If Tether by the chance is a good deal, then it's working. It's fine. It never crashed. It was a good thing from the get-go. Dump all my crap, not all of it, but a good portion of my holdings into Tether. Hopefully, the web bot's spot on. It drops down 55, 40, 45. Who knows where the hell it's going to go. Guys, time to jump back in. Jump back in. Now we got a whole bunch more coins than we had before. And we're playing the game. I'm going to try to play that one. That's one I am going to try to play, FYI. So I just thought this was so fascinating. All these reports, 13.8, 13.880, 13.8808, whatever, and everything, February. I mean, there's some serious stuff about this. That damn date. So we're here, 12th of February, as I'm doing this tonight. Cannot wait to see if by chance, before we get out of this month, are we actually going to hit that 13.8? What if it really is third week? It literally happens third week. Oh boy. Can't wait to see what the hater troll. Can't wait for these guys. I may have to go troll some trolls just for fun. Take care.